Hey guys, it's Shy. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and if you're not, hey boo. So for today's video, we created this beautiful look that you see testing some new makeup. I was kindly sent this SimplyPosh Lavender Fields eyeshadow palette. This is the color story. It looks absolutely gorgeous. This is the palette that you see on the eyes. So it is a pre-sale on March 14th at 3 p.m. CST. But the orders will not ship until the end of March, so just keep that in mind. I personally don't have a code with SimplyPosh Cosmetics. I'm very new to the brand. I will try to list any discount codes from creators that I support that do have a code, and I'll put it in the description box. Now, the price I'm expecting to be around $55 for this palette. That seems about the average pricing for SimplyPosh, but I will have the details as far as pricing also listed in the description box. I'm really shocked and surprised about the color story. It was not what I was expecting, and it was a very pleasant surprise. I have a lot of new makeup in front of me, so if you guys like it here, if you like my vibe, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And without any further ado, let's test some new makeup. We are doing a testing new makeup. I have a bunch of new products. The main star of today's video is going to be the new SimplyPosh Cosmetics Lavender Fields palette. I actually got this sent in PR. I'm so excited, and y'all wait till you see the color story on this baby. It's absolutely stunning. I also picked up the newly reformulated Estee Lauder Double Wear. I do have the original right here, so I picked up my same shade. I did swatch it in store, and I really did like how the undertone on this looks, so I am going to kind of swatch them in comparison to see how I like them. Now, I do have very oily skin. I have PCOS, so I have large pores. I get breakout prone skin. I do make it a point to take really good care of my skin so that I don't have like those dark marks, and I try to limit my sugar intake to also help out with the breakouts. But you know, sometimes around that time of the month, breakouts are gonna happen. I got the new Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush concealer. I also have the Morphe Cheek Thrills blush trio. You do get 2 creams and a powder with this. I picked up the shade Blind Date because that is the one that's the most popular, but I also have Yacht Day, which I've already tried. I also have After Party, and I got the new Rare Beauty powder bronzer. I have a new setting powder. It's from Glamlight, but this is the strawberry shortcake one. I just wanted to see how it compares to the one size. As far as the formula, I do know that I love the Glamlight powders, but I just wanted to see the color difference compared to the one size. Y'all know I love me some one size beauty. Brows are done, but my face is just feeling a little bit dehydrated. I'm gonna go into this D'Alba First Serum Spray Mist. I love using this to help prep my skin for makeup, and I also like using this with my skincare. My eyes are a little bit on the drier side these days because of the weather. It is pretty cold here today in Texas. It's about 60 degrees, and that's cold for Texas, okay? And because this Charlotte Tilbury concealer is more on the matte side, I really want to make sure that my face is prepped. So I'm gonna go into the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops. And I took about 2 pumps of that, and I just like to focus this all over the face. And while that skincare is settling in, you see this boy, okay? He is always trying to get into my chair when I film. So I don't really know how much longer I'm gonna have this background because he's honestly such a distraction for me, but he's such a little cutie, huh? Huh, Nico, aren't you the cutest little boy, huh? So I know, I done got you started now, huh? Everyone, hi. Hi, I see you. I'm busy. I see you. You can't get in this chair. So everyone has been ranting. Everyone has been ranting and raving about the new Edam lip balms and the Summer Fridays lip balm, But y'all, I am just not in the market to be paying for a $20 lip balm. So I've actually been really loving these lip balms from e.l.f. This is their Glow Reviver Melting Lip Balms, and this is in the shade Cotton Candy Crush, and this is a beautiful baby pink. So I'm just gonna apply this on the lips. If you guys see Nico, he is literally in my chair with me. So he's right here. He just couldn't help himself, okay? Of course, I'm gonna be taking the P.LOUISE base in Rumor number 4. I forgot to show you guys, but I do have the brush set from the P.LOUISE and Michaela collab. This is the Blended Memories. This is a 10-piece brush set. It does come with a mirror, which is great for travel. You get 5 face brushes, and then you get 5 eyeshadow brushes right here. I will be utilizing this brush set as well. And P.LOUISE is having a sale, so I actually got this brush set on sale for $27.50. It normally retails for over $55. Now on to the Lavender Fields eyeshadow palette. I love the packaging. It is a leather packaging, so it feels really nice and smooth. And I did read that as far as the formula for this palette, they did enhance their matte formula. I have their Christmas palette, and that was my first time trying anything from SimplyPosh Cosmetics, so I'm pretty new to it. But even using the Gingerbread Bakery palette from SimplyPosh Cosmetics, I had no issues with the mattes. I thought they were beautiful. Even the pastels were really good. You just had to build them up, but they did build up just fine. So the fact that they enhanced the quality of this palette, I'm really excited, especially because of the lighter tones in here. I really do like that they took the feedback of others and they used that to improve their formula. I have no idea what look I'm going to do. At first, when I saw the packaging of this palette, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit and I was like, ugh, another purple palette. I was like, ugh, another purple palette. And then when I was told that I was getting it sent, I was like, of course I'm getting sent a purple palette because I'm melanated, and they say that purple looks really good on, you know, deeper skin tones. I was pleasantly surprised to find out that this is not a purple palette. There are purple pops, but it is not a purple palette, which I love. You do get the purples, you get some mauves, you get some earth tones, and honestly, this palette fully represents a lavender field in my opinion. When I think of lavender, I think of calming, I think of just relaxation, and I feel like they really nailed this by including those more earthy tones in this palette while also giving you the purple to make it lavender. I feel like they nailed this launch just based out of the concept and the layout of this palette. So we're gonna put it to the test as far as the formula to see how it goes. And I am itching to try these shimmers. So I haven't touched it at all. I don't really want to do a purple look, but if I happen to do a purple look, y'all, don't come for me, okay? I'm gonna start with this berry shade right here called Essence. And just from me dipping in, there is some fallout and it is very pigmented. So normally with pigmented eyeshadows, you are gonna have a little bit of fallout. Essence is more of a burgundy shade. It looked more pink, but yeah, that is really pretty. So we're just gonna add this right here. And as you can see, there is really beautiful depth with this palette. It looks really pretty. I don't have any issues so far with blending, and usually with purples, they're a little bit harder to formulate. So this does pull like more purpley than burgundy. I used the P.LOUISE and Michaela 179 brush to apply this shadow. To blend out the edges, I'm gonna go into this shade called Blossom right here, which is kind of like a yellowy color. And I really don't use shades like this too much. Oh, that's perfect. I'm such a neutral girl at heart, so even with the most colorful palette, I will always find a way to make it neutral. I don't know if that's a gift or a curse, but I just love a good neutral glam. To blend out those edges, I took the P. Louise and Michaela 121 brush. I'm gonna take this blue right here because I feel like we have to incorporate some type of blue with this shirt. I'm taking Therapeutic on the P. Louise 126 and I'm going to pop that. Oh, that is a darker blue than what I was expecting. Going back into Blossom, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend those edges right here. I feel like only bright colors belong in the inner corner, but that's just me. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the crease. And I'm just using the P. Louise base in Funfetti frosting. I usually will cut the crease with micellar water, but y'all, I'm being lazy, but when I use that P. Louise paint, I feel like I experienced creasing because I didn't use the micellar water and it was just a really thick formula. So honestly, I would probably recommend using micellar water to cut it first. But because this base is very thin, I'm not really worried about having to cut the crease with micellar water. And I'm just dragging essence right on the lash line a little bit. I'm gonna take Fragrant because it seems lighter. I'm using the P. Louise 126. I'm gonna use this right here. Oh, that's pretty. I'm gonna use this right here to blend. And yeah, this is definitely turning into a purple look. And I'm just taking the P. Louise E18 and I'm just gonna enhance that blue. All of these shimmers look absolutely stunning, but I'm gonna go into Grateful. It does have some blue reflex in it, so I'm gonna take Grateful on a flat shader brush. This shimmer formula is more on the chunky side. Oh, that is beautiful. Yes, and that is pulling more like silvery gray blue, which is what I want. So I'm just using that right here. I'm gonna take the P. Louise and Michaela 159, which is a really small smudger brush. I'm going into this dark purple called Picturesque. I'm just gonna use this to deepen up the outer V, just so that we have some depth to this look. And I was really trying not to make this a purple eye look, but here we are. For lashes, I don't want anything that's gonna cover up this eye look, so I'm gonna take these JASMARIE cosmetic lashes in the style Charm. You can use the code Cheyenne to get some money off. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this on and do the other eye, and we're gonna get into these base products. So eyes are done and they look pretty good. At first I was a little nervous, y'all, but I feel like anytime I play with color, I'm like, I don't know about this look, but I think the eyes came out pretty good. I do have some thoughts on this palette, so I'll save that towards the end. So now let's get into the base. I picked up the new Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place foundation, and I do still have the old one. Off the rip, you can see there's a change in the shade. So this one is a lot warmer and this one looks more neutral. And these are both the same shade. So this is 6W1 Sandalwood. Unfortunately, this still does not come with a pump. When I got this new Estee Lauder foundation, the free gift was supposed to be the pump, but unfortunately they were out, so Ulta counter days. Let's do a swatch comparison. Starting with the original formula, this is what 6W1 Sandalwood looks like on me. So it is pretty like olive toned. It is a little bit on the warm side, nothing too crazy. And this is the new and improved shade. So this is 6W1 Sandalwood. So as you can tell, this one is a little bit more golden slash peachy. It's not as warm as this one, and this one is a little bit darker. These are the shades on my hand. So this is the new formula, and this is the old one. This foundation does oxidize. Already the formula feels better. It's not super heavy. I did notice that with the original Double Wear, it is a full coverage foundation, so it is going to feel heavy. So I'm glad that they made it a thinner formula where it's more breathable, lightweight, because I feel like that's the most complaint I hear about people wearing foundation, is that it feels heavy on the face. Those are what those shades look like on me, and I do have a neutral olive undertone. And because we're trying a new foundation, I don't want to switch up my primer, so of course y'all already know I'm taking my Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm powder. This is in Universal Radiant, and I like to focus this in the T-zone, but I do take this all over the face because I am pretty oily everywhere. This one does have a glow to it, but it is still mattifying, so I really love this blurring balm. Normally I do color correct, but I'm not going to, so that we can see what the coverage is like for this foundation. I'm really nervous about not color correcting just because around my mouth area it is a little bit darker, and then I do have these 2 bruises from my CPAP machine. I'm gonna start off by dotting the foundation on the skin. This is a more liquidy, runny foundation. This is the P. Louise and Michaela 685 brush, and I'm using it for foundation. And we're gonna do half of the face just so that we can see what it looks like. And already it has a slight glow to the skin, and it looks really natural and skin-like, and it does have more of a medium coverage. I can still see my skin peeking through. As you can see the difference, it looks really good. It looks really skin-like. I'm honestly not mad at the glow, but I will say, as someone who has really oily skin, the whole point of like the Estee Lauder foundation was to be a matte foundation, but I personally don't like super matte. I do like something like soft matte, so I feel like this is giving soft matte and it's buildable, so I pretty much used up all the foundation. I only put a little bit. I will say that you will still need to color correct because I can still see the darkness from the bruise here, but everywhere else looks very skin-like. It looks very natural. It feels very comfortable, and I'm not mad at the glow, okay? It's not overly glowy. I personally like to use a brush for foundation because you're gonna get the most coverage, but if you want something more skin-like, I would recommend using a sponge. And as you can see, it looks really beautiful. It does start to dry down, so it's not as glowy on this side, but it looks really pretty. I'm not mad at this at all. It does slightly oxidize. As you can see, it is a little bit darker on my hand now. I did burn myself the other day curling my hair, so that's what this is. It is healing and it's in the peeling stage now, so love that. For cream bronzer, I'm gonna be taking this one from Fine Cosmetics. I just haven't used this in a while. I'm gonna be taking the Made by Mitchell MFX2. So it is a dual-sided brush, very similar to the Makeup by Mario, but this is only $11, okay? My girl Tatiana Anissa put me on to this, so I have another one for blush as well. I feel like I'm gonna pick up 2 more because the price is so good. Fine Cosmetics is the sister brand to P. Louise, and their aesthetic is more like skin-like, more like soft girl, clean girl, whereas P. Louise's brand is like full coverage. It's like kind of childish, but Fine Cosmetic definitely gives like grown and sexy. And as you can see, this bronzer is gorgeous, okay? I just don't use this as much. I don't know why, but it is absolutely a beautiful bronzer, and I'm trying to not be super heavy-handed, especially since I didn't underpaint. And that's why I underpaint, is because I know I can be pretty heavy-handed with bronzer, and underpainting allows my makeup to come out a lot softer. To do my nose contour, I'm just taking this Patrick Ta nose contour brush. Now, y'all, I'm really not into expensive brushes, but this brush from Patrick Ta makes doing your nose contour so easy, and it just blends out so good. So I literally have 2 of these brushes. If you're gonna splurge on anything from the Sephora sale, I would highly recommend this brush. Now that we're all nice and bronzed, it's time to get into some blush. I have the Morphe Cheek Thrills blush in Blind Date. And y'all, I mainly got this for the powder blush. I saw online this beautiful chocolate girl use this. Just from watching some videos, this cream doesn't even work for lighter skin tones. I am anticipating that the cream is not going to show up on me. I'm still going to try it out though. But she did this beautiful blush combo, and she used the e.l.f. liquid blush in Coming in Hot. So if the cream doesn't work on this, we're gonna definitely use this one, but the powder is mainly why I got this, because it was so pretty. This is what Blind Date looks like. So you get 2 creams and the powder. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch it first. These are what the shades look like. This is the powder blush over here, and these are the cream over here. So we're gonna try her on. Going into my other Made by Mitchell MFX2, I'm gonna take the cream shade and we're gonna apply it here. Oh, that is really soft. That is really soft. It's not too crazy. I didn't think it was gonna show up at all, but yeah, this is definitely on the lighter side. So I mean, if you're looking for a really natural blush, then I guess, but yeah, there's not much color to it. We're gonna take a little bit of the e.l.f. Coming in Hot, and this is really vibrant, so I'm not gonna add too much. And these blushes from e.l.f. are really glowy, so I'm gonna kind of let it dry down a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and blend her out. And as you can see, this is a blush, okay? This is a blush, and I'm taking it underneath the eye and up near the temple. And if it looks a little crazy, that's okay, because the concealer is gonna save the day. But yeah, with this Coming in Hot shade, you don't need a lot of it, because as you can see, it is super vibrant. Now that we're looking flushed and have like that bitten skin, it is time for concealer. This is the newly reformulated Charlotte Tilbury concealer. I picked up the shade Medium Tan 11. I've never tried a Charlotte Tilbury concealer because they all looked orange. Even their foundations pull very warm. This concealer is a powder blur technology. It has squalane, hyaluronic acid, and phyto youth essence. This concealer is supposed to be creaseless blurring. It's gonna have a matte finish for flawless looking skin. Normally, I like a more hydrating concealer because my under eyes are a little bit on the drier side, even with me using an eye cream. So the fact that this is matte, I'm a little nervous. I haven't used a matte concealer in a long time. This is what the concealer looks like. One thing Miss Charlotte Tilbury is going to do is she is going to give us that luxe packaging. That is one of the perks of buying high-end makeup. The wand on here is a like pointed tip doe foot applicator, and I'm not gonna use too much because I heard this is a really high coverage concealer. So I did scrape off the excess. And to blend out my concealer, I like to take a sponge, and I'm gonna start with my under eyes because I don't want any issues with my under eyes. And as you can see, that blended really nicely. And this is more of a natural concealer. Like, the shade is more of a natural highlight. It's not too light, so I'm not mad at it. I feel like it is a little too close to my foundation though, because I love a good bright under eye. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I think I definitely could have went a shade lighter, but I'm not too mad at it. The coverage is amazing, okay? The coverage is perfect. To set underneath the eyes, I'm gonna be taking the Glamlite Strawberry Shortcake Setting Powder. Y'all, how cute is this packaging? It is super cute. With these Glamlite powders, you get a lot of product. Let me see how many ounces. There is mica and talc in this setting powder, but I don't notice any shimmer in the banana one, so I don't know. It doesn't say how many ounces you get, which is very strange. So I will try to put that information up. When you order these powders from Glamlite, it does come with a powder puff, but they are kind of small. So I'm just gonna take this one from Sephora collection. I'm just gonna go ahead and set underneath the eye. And that looks really smooth and blurred. Come on, Glamlite. Look at that. That looks really pretty. Now, I will say this is a really light pink. Compared to the One Size one, this one is a lot softer. So if you don't want a super bright pink like the One Size one, this one is really pretty. As you can see, the T-zone is nice and blurred and smooth, which is what we love. But I mean, now that I know that there's talc in this powder, that's why it's so blurring and smoothing. I'm not mad at this 100%, but if a talc-free powder is important to you, then you probably want to skip out on this. For powder bronzer, I have this one from Rare Beauty. This is in Radiant Warmth. I'm gonna take the other side of my Made by Mitchell brush. And y'all, this bronzer literally melts into the skin. Like, look at that bronze, okay? It literally melts like butter. It's so smoothing as well. And this is the perfect bronzer shade for me. And I'm also taking that bronzer for my nose contour. And as you can see, she is pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. Now to set the blush, I'm going into the powder, which is definitely the star of the show, because look at that. That color, yes ma'am, absolutely. This is a stunning powder blush. I wish that the cream was a little bit better, but I feel like this formula definitely reminds me of the Patrick Ta blushes. I have a couple of his blushes and I prefer the powder over the cream. The cream really isn't my favorite, but I do like the cream formula in these from Morphe, but this one just didn't have the pigment. Going into my Makeup Forever Powder Foundation, this is the HD Skin Matte Velvet, and I'm just using that to set the rest of my face. To add a little bit of brightness to the inner corner, I'm going to take my Pink Honey brightening under eye powder in Soft Sunshine. This is a yellow powder and it is very pigmented, so I'm just making sure I tap off the excess, and I'm just gonna apply that right here. And like I said, it is a brightening powder, so if you guys are scared of an bright under eye, this is not the powder for you, but I love a good bright under eye. I feel like I'm the last person to try this product. This is the prettiest pink highlighter I've seen. I'm gonna take this highlighter brush from the P.LOUISE and Michaela collab. This is the $6.99, and this is a beautiful highlighter brush. And we are going to, oh, that is pretty. That is pretty. Just so that it is nice and diffused, I'm just taking that blush brush and just going over it. I have this new lip liner from Jordana Tisha. This is in Subdued Spice, and I'm going to use this to line the lips. It is a wooden pencil, so you can sharpen it. And this color honestly reminds me of Makeup Forever Limitless Brown. So it's not too dark, and it's like a beautiful chocolate color. For lip color, I'm taking MAC Flesh Pot. I'm definitely in my glossy lip era. I used to never be a gloss girl like that. I have this gloss from the Kayla and J. LaRue collab. This is in the shade Warrior, and I feel like this is gonna really tie in this eye look. And we're just gonna add that on top. I'm gonna do my finishing touches off camera, and we're gonna come back and get into my thoughts on these products. And this is what the final look is giving, y'all. I was going for a springtime look and it's giving winter to spring, but I'm not mad at it. So let's get into these products, starting of course with the SimplyPosh Lavender Fields palette. This is a beautiful, absolutely beautiful color story. I just wish that the pastels were a little bit more pastel-y. It does have more pigment than the Gingerbread Bakery. This is the Gingerbread Bakery, so these are way more pastel. Strictly talking about the pastel shades, I do like the ones in the Gingerbread Bakery. These are very pastel. They do have more of a white base and are lighter. I will say that the lighter tones in here are absolutely gorgeous and they are pigmented. So if you're expecting a lighter shade, there's not a lighter shade to really brighten up the look outside of a shimmer. So that is really the only critique that I have, is that there's not a lighter matte shade to kind of just brighten it up. Everything else blended really good. I love the shimmers. I will say with this shimmer formula, it is very chunky and you will get some glitter fallout. So I would recommend using a glitter glue just to help it stick. I didn't use a glitter glue at all and the lid looks really pretty. I don't have any creasing on the eyes whatsoever. With this palette, I definitely recommend doing the eyes first. When it comes to these brushes from P.LOUISE and Michaela, and I think it's a pretty good deal to get a 10-piece brush set for $27.50. They're great quality. I had no problems blending, and these are very good staples. You could do a full face using this brush set, so I would definitely snag it while it's still on sale and available. These brushes from P.LOUISE, they go up to, I want to say, almost $200. So if you can get a 10-piece brush set for under $30, I think that's a steal. Let's talk about this newly reformulated Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. Let's go over the pros first. So the pro is that it does look really skin-like, and I feel like the shade match is pretty good. Overall, I feel like it looks more even toned with my body. As you can see, it looks more neutral. With the original, it looks very warm. And a con with this is that my skin can look really dry, it can be really heavy, but in that same sentiment, I will say that this foundation isn't nearly as long wearing as the original, but it is a skin-like feel. I did have this foundation on for about 5 hours and I just touched up. I still feel like having 5 hours of wear time before needing to touch up is still good. And as you can see, the skin still looks flawless. I didn't have any separation, just a little bit of shine going on. Nothing too crazy, but even with the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm Powder, like I'm not used to really getting shiny using that as a primer. But I did refresh my skin using this first spray serum, so that probably just enhanced the oils and the glow because this is a serum spray. I probably won't be using this with makeup just because it makes the skin really glowy. I definitely want to play with her a little bit more before I give my final thoughts on her. Just the initial thoughts: it is lightweight, it has more of a skin-like finish, it wore pretty well, I have no separating, and I did eat and drink and I was outside. It is a little bit colder here in Texas, so it's not super hot, but when that sun gets to beating down, it gets a little warm and toasty. The foundation wore really well. Now for the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Concealer, this is a beautiful concealer. I didn't find that it was too matte or too drying for the under eyes. I'm not really a fan of the shade because I feel like it's a little too close to my skin tone, but should I return it? I don't know. I'm probably just gonna keep it because I do like it and I have other concealers that I can use to brighten the under eye. Overall, I didn't have any issues. It didn't dry down super fast, and that is something I was worried about, that I wouldn't have enough playtime to work with it, but it is absolutely beautiful and I only used a little bit. Normally I am caking on the concealer and I really use like what, two drops or so underneath the eye, very light-handed than what I normally use. Miss Charlotte Tilbury definitely got a 10 out of 10 for me. The Fine Cosmetics bronzer wasn't new to me. I'm very familiar with this. It is thin, lightweight, and the color looks gorgeous. Now this Rare Beauty bronzer, y'all, okay, Selena, okay, Miss Selena, she snapped with this bronzer. Now I will say it is more of a satin finish bronzer, so it's not a matte finish, so it's going to give you that nice radiant glow, which if you have oily skin, you may or may not like this. I really like it. It's not super glowy, but this satin bronzer does look more skin-like and it just melts, okay? It melts into the skin and I picked up radiant warmth. This bronzer is literally amazing. If you guys have not tried it, I would highly recommend it. Now for this Morphe blush trio in Blind Date, the creams are not going to work for you at all if you're my skin tone. The powder is so good though, so I will say it's up to you. For the price of this blush, I'm not sure if it's worth it to you to just have for the powder. The powder is really good, but as far as the creams, like this is not gonna work for my skin tone, but I am gonna keep it because I love, love, love the blush, and I'm just gonna touch her up actually. I'm just gonna add a little bit more blush. Oh yeah, like come on y'all. This blush is absolutely gorgeous. So it's like, how can I not, okay? I'm really glad that they have other shades than this one. I still need to try After Party. Yacht Day is definitely my favorite right now because that's the one that looks the best. It's like that warm terracotta shade. I do like the pink blush on here, but we'll see how I feel when I try out After Party. But right now, this one, 4.5 out of 10 for me, just because the two creams don't show up and that's already over half the palette. So, but I do like the matte blush formula. And my thoughts on this Glamlite Strawberry Shortcake powder is it's really not that pink like I thought it would be. It is really beautiful. It did kind of brighten up the skin a little bit, but nothing too crazy. I was expecting a little bit more pink, I will say if you're looking for a more affordable option and you didn't want to spend like $36, $38 on the one size, I feel like this is a great alternative. This NYX highlighter in You Butterwork is really, really pretty. I feel like I like Glaze It Butter just a little bit more, but this pairs really well with any pink look or pink blush. I am really obsessed with this lip combo. I love this. I feel like this gives me Fenty Beauty mauve vibes, but it's not too purple. And Kayla is very similar to my skin complexion, so sometimes, you know, these more purpley mauve colors can look a little off on our skin tone. She really did create the perfect black girl purple gloss. These Made by Mitchell double-ended brushes are so tea, okay? They are so good, and they're only $11, y'all. I feel like I need to get 2 more. I don't have to search for an extra brush to set the powder. It's all in one. And these e.l.f. Glow Reviver lip melts are so good. Maybe if I'm looking to splurge on a lip balm, I'll spend the $20, but I'm sorry, e.l.f. will take the cake with this. This lip balm is really nice on the lips. So if you don't want to spend $20 on a lip balm, you definitely don't have to. I feel like this one is a great affordable option. And if you really don't support e.l.f. for whatever reason, CoverGirl did come out with their squishy lip balms. I have been eyeing those as well, but honestly, you cannot beat the e.l.f. price. The packaging is just so cute, so simple. It's great for me, for my daughter. And if you lose this, it's no hard feelings because it wasn't that expensive. But if I lose a $20 lip balm, best believe I am crashing out, okay? I will crash out over losing a $20 lip balm. So I say just stick with the more affordable option, but that's your wallets, not mine. But as far as me, I'm sticking with the e.l.f. lip balms. Those are all the new products that I tried out. As far as the products I tried out today was a good makeup day. I do want to still try out a couple more of the products that I used today just to get my final thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Let me know what your thoughts are on these products that I tried. Are you passing? Do they have you intrigued? Let me know down in the comments, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.